Hare Krishna. Welcome to our continuing series on celebrating Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this evening, to begin, we have two broadcasts this evening. I'll be returning after this to be with you to interview Krishna Chaitra Maharaj, where we're going to explore the historical impact of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And tomorrow, of course, is Nityananda Trayodashi, and we'll be celebrating that with His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj. And tonight we have a talk by Nitaisevini Mataji. She lives in Hyderabad, where she's been involved with the devotees there for quite some time, since actually 1984 when she shifted there. She's been initiated by Jayapataka Maharaj. She has a number of degrees and a PhD in education, and she's the principal of the Divine Touch School. So she's involved in all kinds of services, and her husband is a very good friend of mine, Samba, who's the president of ISKCON Visakhapatnam. So she is a wonderful speaker, and we're going to be really thrilled to hear from her about the childhood pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu as related in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I'm going to switch over to her video. It'll just start in a minute. This is something that was pre-recorded because of her schedule and commitments. So we hope there's no issues and problems. And we'll be back at the end to thank her and to continue with our next program. So here we go. Let's play it.
Ajanulam vitavujo kanakavadhato sankirtane kapitaro Kamalaya-taksho Vishwambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur.
I'm sorry, there were some glitches there. Okay. We're back online. Okay, let me get this back.
Sankirtane kapitaro Kamalaya-taksho Vishwambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. पंचतत्व की जय, चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna. So today we will be discussing the youth pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So before I begin, I want to share with you a story. So in the olden days, there was once a king who was very busy with his kingdom and with his political activities. But however, he was spiritually inclined. So he just called all his ministers and he said, why not you make a research and let me know what I'm supposed to know as a human being. What is the essence of all the scriptures? What is the essence of all the Vedas, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita? Because as a king, I don't have time to refer through all the scriptures. So why not you consult with all the spiritual people, all the sadhus, and you just give me the essence? So the ministers, they did a great job. They took some time, but after a couple of months, they come up with a 150 page, of the essence of all the scriptures. So when the king went through, he said, this is too long. I don't have that much time. Can you make it a little more shorter? So after some time, they came with a 50 page summary. And the king said, well, no, I think this is too big for me. Is it possible that you can just make it into one page so that I can just quickly see what's the summary, what's the essence of all the scriptures? So they did come up with one page. And then after looking through the page, he said, well, this is nice, but because it has been shortened into one page, they have written everything as a sutra. So which is very difficult again to understand. Every one line will need, hours of explanation for the king to understand. So he said, can you make it more simpler? Can you just give it to me in like maybe 3-4 lines? What is the essence of all these scriptures? So then they said, all right. So after a couple of days, they came up with just 4 lines. And that 4 lines is a verse from the Padma Puran, which even Rupa Goswami quotes in the Bhakti Yoga Sindhu. So that it says that, Smartavyam satatam Vishnu vismartavya na jhatuchit sarva vidhi nishedhosyur etayor eva kinkaraha. So what it basically says, it says that the essence of all scriptures is this one particular direction. What is that? Is Smartavya Satatam Vishnu. Always remember Krishna. Vismartavya na jatuchit. Don't forget Krishna. Sarva. All the do's and don'ts. Vidhi nishedha. Vidhi nishedha is the do's and don'ts of sarva, of all scriptures. Etayor eva kinkaraha means they are the subservient of this one particular direction of the scripture, is that always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And this is the essence they gave it to the king. So the essence of all scriptures is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. We see even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in 8.7 to Arjuna, he says that Mam anusmara yuddhaya, Mam anusmara yuddhaja. You remember me and do your prescribed duty. So Krishna says, you don't have to stop doing your prescribed duties. Just keep me in your remembrance and keep doing your work. And then again in Bhagavad Gita elsewhere, in 18.58, Krishna says, Machitta sarva durgani. If you are conscious of me, you can cross over all the obstacles in life. So time and again, Krishna is going on emphasizing that somehow or the other you remember me. Like Rupa Goswami puts in, Jeno teno prakarena mana Krishna niveshaya. Somehow or the other. That means the Vedic scriptures are giving us the freedom to invent different ways, what way you want to remember Krishna, but somehow remember Krishna. That is very important, because if we remember Krishna, then we can cross over. We can cross over all the not only material problems or material miseries, but we can go back home, back to Godhead. And even if somebody does not have a spiritual inclination, even to survive in this material world, if they remember or take shelter of Krishna, then all the difficult things become easy. That is what it says even in Chaitanya Charitamritam, Adi Leela, chapter 14, verse number 1. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet. If somebody remembers the name of Krishna, somebody remembers the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then that which is Dushkaram becomes Sukaram, becomes easy. But then in the next line, he mentions a very important point. But he says that Viparita, Vismrita, if you don't remember Krishna, you don't remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Viparita will happen. That means whatever is easy will also become difficult in your life. This is Namami Chaitanya Namaha. That's what he says in that particular verse. So somehow or the other, the essence of our human life is to somehow remember Krishna. Now the question will be, how should we remember Krishna? So there are Navavidha Bhakti given. You do Smaranam, you do Shravanam, you do Kirtanam, you do Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam. There are so many ways of doing it. The best way of doing it is Shravanam, when you hear about Krishna, because when you hear about something, then your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind gets filled up with that. So when you keep hearing about Krishna, then Smaranam, remembrance of Krishna, becomes easy. And what best way to remember about Krishna than to hear about him or to hear stories about him? So that is why when we hear the pastimes, when we hear the stories, pastimes of Lord Krishna, then we relish them, we can easily understand them, and that way we can remember the Lord. So that is why today we will dive into the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his youth age. So we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is in different parts. In the beginning we have Balya Leela, childhood pastimes, and then we have his youth Leela, that is his teaching Leela, where he is a teacher, his Panditya Leela, and then we have his Sankirtan Leela, and we have his Sannyas Leela. But today our focus will be on his youth pastimes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the combined form of Radha and Krishna, appeared in the Prathama Sandhya of Kali Yuga. So he appeared in the Falgun Maas on full Purnima day, which happened to be a lunar eclipse. And it was 4,586 years after the advent of Kali Yuga. So Lord appears in 1486 year, and at that time all the residents of Navadvip were chanting the name of Hari, as the Smarta Brahmanas were of opinion that since it's an eclipse, better to chant Lord's name. So they were all taking bath in Ganga and chanting Hari. So everywhere and in different parts of the Navadvip town, there was only one name being resounded. It was Hari, Hari, Hari. And at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So then we know all the sweet childhood pastimes of how he got the name Nimai, how he was a naughty boy, how he used to pull the legs of those brahmanas underwater, disturb them from doing Gayatri, splash waters on them, switch dresses between the men and the women who were taking bath in different ghats, and how he kept, or how he put the two thieves into illusion, when they were trying to steal the ornaments from the Lord, and how he went to the house of Jagadish and Hiranya to enjoy the feast, and how sometimes he was chastised by Jagannath Mishra because of his naughty pastimes. And then we know his pastime with the snake, his pastime with the puppy, how he delivered a small puppy, and his water pastimes, how he had beautiful water sports with his friends in the Ganga. So now our today's topic begins from there, where the Lord has already done with his Akshar Abhyas, is done with his Karna Bheda ceremony, he's done with all those, and now he's a young Brahmin boy, maybe around the age of 9 or 10 years. And now what happens here at this juncture in Lord's pastime in Adi Leela, chapter 17, is Lord's elder brother has already taken sannyas. Sachi Mata's, many of her daughters died before Vishwarup appeared. That is the 9th child of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as the 10th child. So now, since so many of their children had died, they were very attached to Vishwarup and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who in his younger age was called Vishwambar, which was the name given very fondly by his grandfather Nilambar Chakravarti. So now at this juncture in the pastime, Vishwarup had taken sannyas. Since Vishwarup had taken sannyas, both Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata, they were very much worried that maybe even Vishwambar, their youngest son, may take sannyas and they will be left all alone. So they decided that we will not allow our child to go to school, because if he goes to school, he will read the Vedic scriptures. And if he reads the Vedic scriptures, then he will develop renunciation towards the world. So better he should not learn, because those days it was not about material education. Mostly they used to learn scriptures, they used to learn Sanskrit, and the Brahmanas, that's what they were supposed to do. So they thought, he doesn't learn scriptures, then he doesn't develop renunciation. So they decided not to send him to school. But our young Nimai was very much interested to go to school. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was fondly called as Nimai, fondly called as Vishwambar, so he starts now playing all the more pranks to somehow convince his parents to send him to school. So this very beautiful pastime takes place where the Lord goes and stands in dirt. Now in those days, they used to cook on those terracotta pots. So now after the cooking is over, they used to throw those pots, or rather dispose those pots inside the earth for a organic recycling of those pots. So usually what happens after the cooking and the eating process happens, where they throw the pot, it becomes like a big garbage pit. So once it so happened that little Nimai, he goes there and he stands on the top of that garbage pit, and Mother Sachi is saying, "Hey Nimai, what are you doing? That's not clean. That is asuchi. Suchi is clean and asuchi is dirt. So why are you standing? It's impure place. That's not suchi. Come back." And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very, very wittily replies, "Oh really? How do I know, Mother? Because I never went to a school. You never allow me to go to a school. So I don't know what is suchi and what is asuchi." So like that, he keeps reminding them that all this behavior of mine is because you're not sending me to school. So after continuously reminding her like that, finally Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, they agree to send him to school. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts going to Gangadas Pandit's Gurukul. And there he's a sharp learner, so he learns everything very quickly. So just in a day, he finished learning all the letters in the Sanskrit language in the very first day. And on the second day, he learns all the combining letters and how they have to be written or pronounced. So very quickly, he masters the language. Of course, the Lord is the source of all knowledge. Vedanta krit Vedavid eva chaham. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Lord is the source of all knowledge. Who can teach the Lord? He's the of all the Vedas, is the maker of all the Vedas, is the source of all the Vedas. So just like Lord Sri Krishna learned all the 64 arts and all the Vedic scriptures in just about 64 days, Lord also in his Rupa, in his incarnation as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he learns everything very quickly. So very quickly he learns everything, and by the age of 11, Lord is already master of Sanskrit grammar and all the language. So in the Prema Vivarta, Jagadananda Pandit mentions one very beautiful pastime which happens around this time when Lord and Jagadananda Pandit are going to school, and on the way to school they see a parrot. So the moment Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sees the parrot, he tells Jagadananda, see, this looks like Sukha, the parrot of Radharani. So Lord tries to, catch the parrot and talk to the parrot. Hey parrot, why don't you tell me something about Radha and Krishna? So now this parrot was a divine parrot. So the moment it's touched by Lord, the parrot starts chanting Gaura, Gaura, Gauranga, Gaura, Gaura, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like, stop it, I'm just asking you to tell me something about Radha and Krishna. Why not you chant the names of Radha and Krishna? So the parrot starts speaking, and he says that I can see here just in front of me the combined form of Radha and Krishna both. So that is why I'm chanting Gaura's name. So and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu keeps requesting, no, why not you say something about Radha Krishna? And the parrot says, but I just want to say Gaura. And the parrot keeps telling Gaura, 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 and it flies away. So this is a very confidential pastime where we see that Lord's identity is getting revealed. So here, when this pastime was written by Jagadananda Pandit in his book, then Swarup Damodar, he chastised Jagadananda Pandit and said, why do you have to write all these confidential pastimes? Don't put them in the book. And then Jagadananda Pandit, he says, well, this is my book, and I'll write whatever I want to write in my book. If you don't like it, you write your own book. And why this attitude? Because we know Jagadananda Pandit is Satyabhama. So Satyabhama, who was Satyabhama in Dwapar Yuga, had now come in Kali Yuga as Jagadananda Pandit. So it's a little hot temper, and he says, I'll write whatever I want to write in my book. So this one pastime took place around that age. And then by the age of 14, Lord was like more than PhD. He had become a master in all the Sanskrit grammar and poetry and logic and nyaya and all the different kind of scriptures, and he famous in whole of Navadvip, and people started calling him by the name Nimai Pandit, bujo. So if somebody asks them, intelligent, Brahmana tries to, so like that he some kind of a divine power by which he's making me think about Lord so much. So he says, oh, it's very nice to have your presence, but I'm unable to see your previous birth. I'm seeing so many different incarnations of the Lord. So then Nimai, he doesn't reply anything, he just smiles and he says, okay, that's all right, and he just leaves that place. So like that, Lord is just moving around and everybody is so happy just by his presence and by having an opportunity to have interaction with him. And because Lord was very expert debater, many of them were even afraid to come next to him, especially the Brahmanas, because what Lord used to do is, he used to just go to them very humbly and say, oh, old Brahmana, let me see what we can learn from you today. Very humbly, as if, I don't know, I just want to learn something from you. And then Lord will ask, so what do you think about this? Ask a question. And when the Brahmana tries to reply, Lord will hear the reply, and after hearing the reply, the Lord will say, well, I don't think this is the correct answer. Actually, this are the mistakes in your answer. So then when he says, oh yeah, you are right, these are the mistakes, then Lord will again defeat those mistakes. No, actually they are not mistakes, actually they are the positive points of your answer. And he'll convince that these are the positive points. And when the Brahmana gets convinced, oh, you are right, then Lord again defeats them and say, but no, actually they are not correct. This is not the way to present. And finally they'll say, okay, Nimai, all right, you are great. We can't, debate with you. Whatever you said, you are correct. And then all the students of Lord who accompany him, they used to all have a laugh, and they used to enjoy. They used to feel so proud of their teacher being so expert. And sometimes Lord used to just call over, hey Mukunda, come here, I want to talk to you. But they used to try to escape. They don't want to associate with him. And Mukunda used to think in his mind, oh, I don't want to associate with him because Lord was exhibiting pride at that moment, and he was not showing these symptoms of being a devotee. So even like Shrivas Pandit, he was very much elder to the Lord. So Lord sometimes call over and they were not so much interested to associate. So then he says, hey, Shrivas Pandit, I just want to know, what does it mean by liberation? And when he used to try to explain, then Lord used to say, no, I don't think so. That's the goal, or that is what liberation means. Liberation also means to develop a Krishna prem. So he used to sometimes even give very Krishna conscious answers, but as such he was not manifesting any symptoms or showing anything. He was just like a scholar boy who can defeat and give the right answers for everything. So Shrivas Thakur and all the other devotees, they used to think in their mind, oh, Nimai is so intelligent, Nimai has so much knowledge, oh, Krishna just bless him that he becomes a good devotee, then it will be something, otherwise. So he was not exhibiting his he was not exhibiting his love for Krishna. He was just very outwardly like a scholarly boy. So this is what happened. And most of the time people were so much impressed by his bodily beauty. Ajanulambito, his hands were so long, touching their knees, and his eyes were like lotus petal and so huge that they used to almost touch the ears. Such huge eyes and very beautiful feature. And he was very tall, almost 7 feet 7 feet tall, with a broad chest and a narrow waist, and with a golden effulgence. And everybody used to, the moment they see him, they used to keep looking at him. Wherever he was, Lord comes back at that very moment. So Vanamali Acharya is coming out of the house and Lord is entering. And then Vanamali Acharya shares this with the Lord, that I got this proposal and your mother hasn't agreed. So the Lord goes inside and asks his mother that I just saw Vanamali Acharya going out and he had a very sad face. What did you say that made him feel so bad? So then she understands that, oh, that means Lord wants to get married. So then she immediately summons Vanamali Acharya and gets the marriage fix. So that is how Lord gets married to Lakshmi Priya. So then after that, he goes out for just like a normal householder. Now he has his householder duties. So he travels far to east of Bengal and other places. So to make some money for his household life. So now Lakshmi Priya and Sachimata, they are in his separation. So while Lord is not there, he's gone out. Lakshmi Priya's separation takes the form of a snake and bites her. So in those days it was very common. They used to live in villages. Snake bites were very common. But here we know, since this is a divine pastime, the snake is not an ordinary snake, but a snake of separation, because she is separated from the Lord, so she dies. So then when Lord comes back, he knows about it. And of course later Lord gets married to Vishnu Priya. Since his first wife died, then mother requests him to get married again. And of course you also know about Buddhimanta Khan, how he becomes instrumental in sponsoring the Lord's marriage. That's another different pastime of how Buddhimanta Khan, how he was in his previous life Suvarna Sen, the king of that place, Suvarna Vihar, and how he was such a pious king, but he always had material desires, no spiritual desires, but otherwise he was a very pious person. So how Narad Muni once comes to meet him, and then Narad Muni gives him the Gaura mantra. So from that time, this Suvarna Sen was chanting Gaura, Gaura, Gaura continuously, and he got so infected with that love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He kept on chanting Gaura, and because of his continuous chanting, Lord appeared to him in the form of Gauranga, and then Lord blessed him, and then within a few seconds Lord disappeared again. So this Suvarna Sen was, Lord, I didn't even see you properly, I just want to see you again. And he keeps chanting, but then Lord does not appear again, but tells him that you're not yet qualified to see me completely, but however, because I was very happy with your sincere this, I've appeared in front of you, but definitely you will come back to me, and you will also be part of my Leelas in Kali Yuga. So when I come in Kali Yuga as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, you will be also part of my Leela. So here when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in Kali Yuga, then he comes as Buddhimanta Khan. And not only that, he's such a rich businessman, and he sponsors the whole wedding of the Lord. Because I'm not going into details, but the wedding was so lavish, and this is what is written, and how such delicious savories and sweets were distributed, and how the decorations were, and how the gifts were given out to the guests, and how the prasadam, one particular line I'll share, they said that so much prasadam was distributed that usually, when we distribute prasadam, something will drop, no matter, especially when it is a marriage function, you can't be so careful. It's a distribution in mass, so many people are coming. So when they're distributing prasadam, some prasadam is being spilled. So they said the amount of prasadam that was spilled on earth was more than the amount of prasadam that is distributed in ordinary marriages. So in ordinary marriages, what they distribute was the amount of prasadam that was simply spilled on earth. That much distribution of prasadam happened. And not only that, people were coming back for second serving, third serving, again for taking some more samosas, some more kachoris. So then the servants of Buddhimanta, they went and told him that, sir, they're all coming back again. They're standing again in the line for some more. So then he said, oh really? They're standing in line for some more? Then do one thing. Give them 5 times more prasadam so that they don't have to again stand in line. Give some more, give some more. So like that, a very, very grand marriage was organized. So like that, Lord's first wife dies, how Lord gets married another time. And then it so happens once that Lord goes to Gaya. From there, a complete different episode starts. How he goes to Gaya, how he takes actually he goes there for giving pindadan, the yearly ceremony that the sons are supposed to do for deceased father. They go to Gaya and they put pindadan. So he goes there with that excuse, but actually he wants to take initiation from Ishwar Puri, because previously on an occasion, Ishwar Puri had come there, and when Jagannath Mishra was around, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had seen him at that time, and at that time only he had decided in his mind that I want to take initiation from him. And Ishwar Puri had visited Advaita Acharya also. So Ishwar Puri was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri and god brother of Advaita Acharya. So then Lord goes in Gaya, he does Abhishek in Vishnupada, and he takes initiation from Ishwar Puri. And after he takes, of course, there's another, so we just we're just touching a little of all different Leelas without diving deep into it, so that we can cover as many as Leelas, but each Leela is an episode in itself. How Ishwar Puri is initially reluctant to give initiation. He says, how can I initiate you? He knows he's the Supreme Lord, but how Lord requests him, and finally he gets initiation. And after initiation, he starts showing all kinds of different symptoms and manifests the pure love of Lord Krishna. So he just starts there itself in Gaya. When he just goes for Abhishek of Vishnupad, he's crying and crying. It's like torrents of rain from his eyes, and with that water he did Abhishek of Vishnupad. And then he kept his 2 hands in the air, up high up, and started doing Sankirtana, started chanting Hare Krishna. And then everybody who had come to that temple, they also start dancing and chanting with him. And that's where he starts this whole thing of making everybody around him, also infected with this disease of Krishna Prem. So, and then now when he comes back on his way back to Navadvip, of course, there itself he starts shouting, I want to go to Vrindavan, and he starts running. But then a celestial voice comes up from the sky and says, not now, this is not the right time, just go back to Navadvip, not now, Vrindavan, not now. So then he comes back, and on his way he passes through Kanai Natshala, and there he sees Gopal, and he hears Gopal playing flute. So when he comes back, he shares this with his students and with some confidential devotees that at Kanai Natshala, I've seen Gopal, I've seen him playing, he hugged me, this is what has happened, my mind is now completely into Krishna. And he shares with his students that, look, now since I've taken initiation initiation, I want to preach about Lord Sri Krishna. This is what is in my mind. Now, since I know what is the best of the knowledge, as a proper teacher, I can't give you inferior knowledge. Now I have to give you the best of the knowledge. And the best knowledge is not Sanskrit grammar, but it is Krishna consciousness. So if any of you, my students here, feel that you don't want to continue in my school, it's okay. I won't complain. You don't have any pledge. You don't have any obligation towards me. You can leave my school. But henceforth, I won't be able to speak anything but about Krishna. So he did teach grammar, he did continue teaching, but now his teaching were Krishna centered. So even if he taught grammar, it was like based on Krishna Katha. That is how he used to teach grammar, and no more dry philosophies and no more debating. He was not much into debating. So all his students, and they also said, no, we are with you, and please, but we don't know how to do Sankirtan, so please do tell us how to do, and we are ready to follow you, but we don't want to leave you, we want to be with you. So like that, Nimai Pandit, he started teaching and preaching Krishna consciousness. So now what was happening, there were different kind of symptoms that he was exhibiting, or sometimes just falling down on the earth and ecstasy and being in bliss and crying and sometimes laughing and running and shouting on the top of his voice and calling out for Krishna. So now Sachi Mata started getting a little worried. What is happening to my boy? And then some of them said, maybe you should do some Ayurvedic treatment. Looks like there is some problem in his air, some kind of a kapha, vayu, pita. There's some kind of a balance problem. That's why he's crying and shouting like this. So everybody's just giving some or the other, what do you say, home tips. Do this, rub some coconut oil on his head, maybe make him drink some coconut water, do this, do that, it'll balance him. Otherwise he was just normal, and we just saw him, he was okay, and suddenly why he's behaving like this? So those who couldn't understand what's happening. They just assumed it's some kind of a problem. And those who understood, they understood what has happened now. So now, once Lord goes to Shrivas Angan, and then he meets Shrivas Thakur, and he asks Shrivas Thakur, what has happened to me? People are saying that I've got some kind of a disease. What disease have I got? Can you let me know? Can you diagnose my disease? And then Shrivas Thakur says, yeah, you have a disease. And that disease which you have, even Brahma and Shiva wants to have. Even I want to have that disease. And that disease is called Krishna Prem. So like that. And the Lord starts smiling. And then Shrivas Thakur tells him that, look, people won't understand this, so don't display it out. But I will arrange for some confidential devotees to gather here, and we can do Harinam. We can do Harinam Sankirtan in my place. So that is how it started. The everyday late evening, night Sankirtans at Shrivas Angan. So thereon it started, how Lord used to come there, and all the other devotees, you all used to gather there. And in Shrivas Angan, they used to do kirtan whole night. So once Lord asked Shrivas Thakur that why not you recite the Vishnu Sahasranama? Why not you recite the Vishnu Sahasranama? So then Shrivas Thakur, he starts reciting Vishnu Sahasranama. So when he is reciting Vishnu Sahasranama, in between Narasimha name comes. And as soon as Narasimha name comes, Lord starts exhibiting his form as Narasimha, and he takes a club and starts running on the road, and all the other people on the streets get afraid of him. What is happening? And then again Lord comes back, and he comes to his senses. Oh, what am I doing? So like that, so many different pastimes happen in every day in that night kirtan. What used to happen in Shrivas Angan. Once it so happened that after the kirtan, all the devotees were famished and tired, and they wanted to eat something, and there was nothing to eat. So in the courtyard of Shrivas, what Lord does is he just takes a seed of mango and he just sows it. And the moment he sows it, then and there a big tree comes out, mango tree comes out, and then and there, immediately, instantly, the fruits come out, the flowers come out and the fruits come out, and huge mangoes come out. And not only that, these mangoes were so unique, there was no seed in any mango, and they were covered only with a very, very thin skin. And if a devotee takes one mango, his stomach will be full. And those mangoes kept coming the whole year round, all 12 months. So this was one very special mango pastime of the Lord. So how all the devotees every day after Sankirtan used to relish mangoes. Then once it so happened that Shrivas Thakur's mother-in-law, she wanted to see what these people are doing every day in the night. So she thought, let me hide somewhere and see. So what she did is she hid herself inside a basket. Sometimes, in the villages, they have these baskets where they carry fruits or clothes or flowers. So it was an upside down turned basket, and she goes and hides inside. So now usually as soon as the kirtan starts, within 15, 20, 30 minutes, it just goes on to a different level and all the devotees start feeling so ecstatic. But today Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not so happy with the kirtan. So after some time he said, Shrivas, something is wrong. I don't feel the same ecstasy. What is happening? So has anybody who crept inside who is not qualified? So then they just move around and see the whole place. No, my Lord, there's nobody. They try again and again. Lord says, no, there is somebody who is inside here. So now they thoroughly start checking, and then they see the basket is moving a little bit. And then they open the basket. Shrivas Thakur's mother-in-law is there. Then immediately Shrivas just holds his mother-in-law with the neck and throws her out. Then Lord asked Shrivas Thakur, is it correct to treat your mother-in-law like this? Usually, even if somebody is not so respectful towards mother, they'll be extra cautious with mother-in-law and they won't try to offend. And the Lord said, is it correct to do that? So Shrivas Thakur answers, but I don't know who she is. So Lord said, she is your mother-in-law. So Shrivas Thakur says that if anybody is causing disturbance in your pleasure, then I don't know who they are. They have no relation with me. If they are helping me to serve you, then they are related to me. Otherwise, I don't know who they are. And I thought that was so beautiful. And I was just hearing one commentary, on this particular pastime, that how in this material world also, usually we are supposed to be very respectful to people around us, especially when they are elder to us. But by this particular pastime, Shrivas Thakur is teaching us a very important lesson, that the first priority in our life should be Lord and serving Lord's devotees. And if anybody comes as an obstacle in between, we have full rights to full rights. I would not say that we can imitate what Shrivas Thakur did and we just start we start being disrespectful towards our relatives or push them around or physically assault. What it basically means is we should know what's our priority, and we can prioritize our seva more than socializing with our this life relatives and friends and family. As Narad Muni puts it very nicely in one of his teachings, he says that the family members of this life are like those straws which are floating in the river. Due to some arrangement, these straws have all come together. And after some time, when the tide changes or some waves move here and there, again those straws will get separated. So it's not so important. One should give more importance to one's spiritual life. Now, of course, there is so much to say about this, so we shouldn't take it very literally. What it basically means is keep your priorities. What's your priorities in life? Krishna consciousness should be our topmost priority.
We don't ignore our other duties. We maintain a fine balance. But when there is some kind of an apparent contradiction or a problem where we need to decide between the two, we know now what to choose. We know what we can choose. So like that, this one pastime happens. And then the other pastime is a Brahmana comes and he also wants to peep inside, what's happening. So he's trying to knock the door. He's trying to go through the window, somehow get inside the Sankirtan or inside Shrivas Angan, but he doesn't get access. So next day morning when he goes to take bath in Ganga, and there he sees Nimai Pandit coming there, and he gets very upset and he says, yesterday I came there and you people did not allow me to go inside and see your kirtan. This is not correct. You have kept me out. I came with so much anticipation, with so much enthusiasm that I want to be part of it, and you have not allowed me inside. You have kept me out. I curse you. He just takes his Brahman thread and says, I curse you. You will also remain outside your house. You cannot go inside your house. This is my curse. And Nimai Pandit, he becomes very happy because he really wanted that somebody should curse him like that. Why? Because he didn't want to remain in Grihastha. Now he wanted to take sannyas. So he thought, oh, this is a blessing. Now since I've been cursed by a Brahmana, and a Brahman's word doesn't go waste. So now I've been cursed. I can't go inside my house. I'll become a sannyasi. So he became very happy. And then immediately after the words slipped out from his mouth, he wanted to take them back. But Nimai Pandit said, that's all right. It's all arrangement of the Lord, So like that, this one incident happens. And then one other time, it so happens that Shrivas Thakur only allows one new person inside the kirtan. So this man was a brahmachari, a very, very strict brahmachari, who was a Ashtanga yogi. So when he very humbly approaches, and he was a really strict and nice brahmachari. So he approaches Shrivas Thakur that, can I please see the Sankirtan, which happens. So Shrivas Thakur thought in his mind for a second, maybe no harm, because he looks like a nice boy and he's so strict and so austere, and maybe he can be part of it. So he allows him to come inside the Sankirtan. So now as the Sankirtan starts, after some time, Lord again asks Shrivas, who is there inside here? I'm not feeling the same ecstasy that I feel every day. Has somebody unknown come inside for this Sankirtan? So then Shrivas Thakur realizes his mistake, and he just falls down on the feet of the Lord. Oh, I'm very sorry. Actually, I invited, I allowed this brahmachari to be here. And then Lord gets very angry, and he looks at this brahmachari and says, you are not qualified to be part of this Sankirtan. Though these people who are sitting here are all householders, they may not be brahmachari like you, but they are more pure than you are, because they simply want to serve Krishna. They just want to take Krishna's name. But you have a desire to be famous. You are doing all that Ashtanga yoga because you want people to respect you. If you are a real yogi, why did you even come inside the town of Navadvip? Go and stay in some cave or jungle. Why you are coming and associating here with the normal materialistic people? That means you want recognition. So Lord just goes right and left, chastises him, and then he said, just get out from this place. So then he's asked to go out. And as soon as he's asked to go out, this brahmachari, he sits outside and he laments and he cries and he does an introspection. Yeah, maybe Lord is right. I may be brahmachari, but I'm not so advanced like these grihasthas. They are simple people, but they have faith on the Lord. They have faith on chanting of the holy names. Oh, they are serving the Lord so nicely. I may be a Ashtanga yogi, but what am I doing for the Lord? And he laments and he cries, something called paschatap, lamentation. And moment that is happening in his heart, Lord is Paramatma. So within a few moments, Lord calls out Shrivas and says, where is that brahmachari whom we just thrown out? So he said, my Lord, we just asked him to go. He must be outside. So go and call him immediately. So they again open the door and they say, hey, yogi, come back. And then he comes inside, and then Lord says, now you are qualified. participate in the kirtan. I just wanted to remove your ego. You can participate. I just don't want that you should keep that ego. Now, since you are having a humble attitude, and now since you are having a appreciation for all the devotees here, now you can relish the kirtan. So like that, he becomes a part of the Sankirtan. So like that, so many beautiful, beautiful pastimes happen every single day at Shrivas Angan. Then there's another pastime explained in Prema Vivarta by Jagadananda Pandit of a crocodile. So once it so happens that there's a small boy called Gopal who was a son of a cowherd man. So he comes and he calls out Lord. He says, "Hey Nimai, you're my brother. Come home. My mother has cooked something for you." So Nimai Pandit says, How am I your brother? I'm a son of a Brahmin and you are a son of a Vaishya. I don't even know you. So when did I become your brother? So then he says, "Oh, you don't know? Your mother, Sachimata, calls my mother as her younger sister. So now since if they are sisters, then didn't we become brothers?" So then Lord smiles and he says, "Why don't you come home? My mother has many nice preparations for you made up of milk." So Lord says, "All right, I'm coming." So then Lord is just following Gopal, and as they're passing through the river, they're just walking on the bank of the river. What Lord hears is there are many cows. Cows have gone inside the water for drinking water, but they are making very unusual loud noises. They're moving away in a very typical way. So by the way, as walking, Lord just asked his disciples and students, "Why are these cows making this kind of noise? What's happening?" So they say, "Well, dear sir, dear teacher, there is a crocodile inside this river and the cows know very well about it. But they have to drink water, right? They need to drink water to survive. So as they are drinking, they keep on making the noise to keep the crocodile away and just to help each other. So they just get that strength, okay, we are all here together, or we are many, don't try to attack us, and then they're drinking water and very quickly they will leave." So when Lord comes to know about that, he stops and he says, "Let's do Sankirtan here on this bank." So then they all start doing Sankirtan loudly. Now as they're doing Sankirtan, just after some time, the crocodile appears from the water. And they continue doing Sankirtan and the crocodile comes more near and more near. And finally the crocodile comes out of the water on the land. And they do more louder Sankirtan and the crocodile just comes very close to Lord Nimai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and touches his feet. And the moment he does that, he changes into a celestial being. And then Lord says, "Who are you?" So he says, "Well, I'm a resident of Indraloka. Now I'm just a 5-year-old boy. And I was just playing in the water up there. And I saw that there was a Muni who was sleeping at the bank of the river. And I was naughty. So I just cut the shikha of the Muni while he was sleeping. And when he got up and he saw there is no shikha and he saw me cutting, he got very angry. And afterwards I came to know that Muni was Durvasa Muni. Now imagine what will happen if you cut Durvasa Muni shikha. Even otherwise he gets very angry. So then Durvasa Muni got very upset. He said, "Oh, so you like to cut, go become a crocodile, keep cutting everybody, So he cursed me. And then I said, "Oh, I'm very sorry." So when I just came in front of him, and Durvasa, he saw, "Oh, this is a little boy who has done naughty things." He got some mercy on me and he says, "Oh, okay, I can't take back my curse, but when Lord appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and when you touch him, then you will get back your original form." So I've been waiting here for many yugas now, my Lord, and finally I've got the opportunity to touch your divine form. And now, and as he's talking, what happens? The celestial plane comes from Indraloka. And who is there in the plane? The mother and father of that child. Now the thing is, here so many yugas have passed, but there maybe just a day or two has passed in Indraloka. So the parents are coming and shouting, "Where are you, Babu? We are searching you. everywhere and they just hold his ear and take him away as if nothing happened. They don't know he's been suffering there for so many yugas as a crocodile. So they say, okay, come, we've been searching for you whole day, where were you? And they just take him back in the plane back to Indraloka. So like that, Lord delivered the crocodile. So then there's another pastime. So there's another pastime of Devananda Pandit. So how this Devananda Pandit was he was a scholar, and he used to give very beautiful Bhagavatam classes. But the love of God had not risen in his heart. He was a little like a dry philosopher, but he used to speak well. So many people used to come and hear his classes. So once it so happened that Shrivas Pandit went to hear his class. Now Shrivas Pandit being a devotee, the moment anything is spoken about Krishna, he gets completely ecstatic and all sorts of emotions start displaying. So as soon as he's talking Krishna Leela, Shrivas Pandit, he just falls down and becomes unconscious and is in complete bliss. And Devananda Pandit, he doesn't appreciate that. He says, what is this? You're causing so much disturbance in my class, making all this noise. So he tells his students, throw him out, just causing a disturbance. So they just pick him up and throw him out of the class. And then he continues his class. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to know that, he gets so upset. And, he's all upset and doesn't want to even look at the face of Devananda Pandit. So even after that, when Devananda Pandit tries to approach the Lord says, no, I won't forgive you unless you have been forgiven by Shrivas Thakur. So of course, later on, Devananda Pandit has the association of Vakreshwar Pandit, and slowly he learns the science of devotional service, how a devotee is supposed to behave. He realizes what mistake he had made and he becomes a very humble Vaishnava, but still he is not forgiven by the Lord. Then finally one day it so happens that in Kuliagram, Devananda Pandit meets face to face Shrivas Thakur, and there he just holds and holds his feet and asks for forgiveness. And Shrivas Pandit, being a humble devotee that he is and a sweet devotee that he says, that's all right. You not made any offense, it's all right. Just gives him a hug. And the moment that happens, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately forgives Devananda Pandit. And not only that, but and slowly he becomes such a nice devotee that all the other devotees also start attending his Bhagavatam classes. So Lord forgives Devananda Pandit, and Devananda Pandit becomes a good devotee. So we see in Shrivas Thakur's life, he was such a sweet and humble devotee, and many of them out there had tried to offend him. We see also in the pastime of Gopal Chapal, how Gopal Chapal, also being envious of Shrivas Thakur, because he is not having access to that Sankirtan which is happening inside his house. So out of enviousness, what he does is he just takes all the paraphernalia which is required for Devi Puja, and then he just puts it in front of Shrivas Thakur's door. So next day morning when he opens the door, Shrivas Thakur, he sees all that Kali Puja, all the paraphernalia is there. And basically Gopal Chapal wanted to prove to everybody that Shrivas Thakur is making a show of being a Vaishnava, but he's not a Vaishnava. So now Shrivas Thakur, being a humble that he is, he doesn't try to justify, he doesn't say anything, he just accepts. But within 3 to 4 days, Gopal Chapal gets leprosy and his nose falls. Now Gopal Chapal realizes his mistake, so he goes and begs forgiveness from Lord, but Lord says, I'll not forgive you. Go and ask forgiveness from Shrivas. So then, of course, it doesn't happen very quickly. It takes many years for this to happen, because Gopal Chapal had his own ego, and for many years he thought he'll be fine, he'll get better, though he was even, he was given up by his wife also. It's a whole big story what happens, and how every day of his life he realizes that there's nobody in this world, but the only shelter is the devotees of the Lord. So whom he thinks is his own, his wife or his children or whatever, they're not his own. So all these realizations happen, and then finally Gopal Chapal, he begs pardon to Shrivas Thakur. And Shrivas Thakur, he's like, you have not offended me. I'm just an insignificant person. You have not offended me anyway. That's all right. And then finally, Gopal Chappal is forgiven by Lord the moment he begs pardon to Shrivas Thakur. Actually, Shrivas Thakur is an incarnation of Narad Muni, and Lord is so attached to Shrivas Thakur that at several occasions, Lord told Shrivas, I love you so much that anybody who serves you, who's connected to you, even your servant in the house or the insects in your house will also get Krishna Prem. That much Lord was attached to Shrivas. He said, even the insects on your house, they will also get Krishna Prem. Anybody who is around you, who serves you, who is favorable to you, they'll all get Krishna Prem. So that much Lord was fond of Shrivas Thakur. So then a beautiful pastime happens of how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meets Nityananda. So now we all know that how Nityananda was a very sweet boy and one and the only prized possession of his parents, Hadai Pandit and Padmavati, and how once it so happens that in their house there's a Brahmana who comes and after taking Prashadam and spending some time with them in charity, he asked for Nitai. He said, give me this boy. And now Hadai Pandit with a very heavy heart gives Nitai to that Brahmana, and Nitai travels with that Brahmana to many different holy places. And finally he comes here to Navadvip, and then he's staying in Nandanacharya's house. And now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being Paramatma, he understands that Nitai has already arrived in Navadvip, so he becomes so happy and he starts shouting Nitai, Nitai, and then he's telling his confidential servants and his associates that Nityananda has come, go and fetch him. So they don't know where to go. So he said, where is he, Lord? So he's already arrived. Go and ask in every house, somewhere he's hiding, go and ask. So what they do is they go to every house, they knock the door and they ask, so anybody by name Nityananda has come to your house? And they're like, no. And then next house and the next house, and they kept doing it the whole day. And then some of them got so upset. It's 8:30 in the night and you just knocking our door. We were sleeping. Why are you disturbing us? Get out, And then finally they come back and they said, Lord, we searched everywhere. He's not there. And then Lord smiles and says, he's not something which you can search and get him. He has to manifest himself. If he wants to come in front of us, then only he will come. So anyway, I will personally go and fetch him tomorrow. So then Lord directly goes off to Nandanacharya's house and then opens the door, and there is Nitai. And the moment Lord sees Nitai and Lord and Lord is just shouting Nityananda, and Nitai is like Gauranga. So and then the devotees also, who are there at that place at Nandanacharya's house, they all start sounding. Somebody is saying Gauranga, and somebody is saying Nityananda, and somebody is saying Gauranga, and somebody is saying Nityananda. The whole house is resounding with Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga, Nityananda, and it's so blissful. And they both just hug each other, and then they fell unconscious, meeting each other after a long time. And then that same day in the evening, they again meet at Chandrasekhar Acharya's house. And again, this whole thing happens, this Gauranga, Nityananda, and the devotees become so happy on seeing both of them. So like that, the first meeting of Gaur and Nitai happens, and now Lord is very happy that his brother is now with him, Ananta Shesha is now with him to spread the Sankirtan movement. So now what happens is Mother Sachi, she gets a dream, and in her dream she's just worshipping her Krishna Balaram deities, and she's made a nice offering of prasadam to them. And then in the dream she sees that Nitai is coming and taking away the plate from Krishna Balaram and from Krishna, and telling that in Kali Yuga this is not for you, Gauranga has already come, all this is for Gauranga. So then she gets up in the morning and she says, Nimai, just see what a dream I got, in the dream Nitai, why was he acting so weirdly? He was taking away the plate of the offering from Krishna and said, this is for Gauranga. Why was he doing this? I don't know. I got this weird kind of dream. And then what does this mean? What does this dream mean? So Nimai Pandit says, I don't know what the dream means, but I think Nitai is very hungry. That's why this kind of dream has come. Let us call him for lunch. So she says, all right. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he personally goes and calls for Nitai, who is at that time, inside the Ganges taking bath. And he just, summons him, come, mother is calling you for lunch. So then Nityananda, the Prabhu immediately wears his clothes, and then they both walk towards the house. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling him secretly that don't you do funny things, okay? And then Nityananda is like, who does funny things? You are the one who does funny things. What funny things I do? So they're just both talking very mysteriously, and nobody knows what they mean. And finally they go inside, and then Sachi Mata serves them, excellent savories and dishes and lots of feast prasadam. So as she's serving them, and she's getting more from the kitchen, and she's serving, and then she's going, but as soon as she turns her back, sometimes they just switch places, or sometimes they just turn into Krishna Balram. So she gets confused. What is this happening? When she tries to serve them and look up, she sees Krishna Balram. And then when she looks down in the plate and again looks up, she sees Gaur Nitai, and she gets all confused and she faints. What is this happening? So is Gaur Nitai Krishna Balram? Oh, that means Krishna Balram is Gaur Nitai? And she gets all, and she just faints on the floor. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is looking at Nitai and saying, I told you don't do anything. Said, what did I do? So they're just troubling Sachi Mata, or rather, they are just revealing their forms to Sachi Mata. So Sachi Mata understands that Krishna Balram is Nitai, Gaur Nitai, and Gaur Nitai is Krishna Balaram. So like that. And one more pastime happens with Murari Gupta. So how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once tells Murari Gupta, look, why not you worship Krishna? Why do you always think about Lord Ram? Now Murari Gupta knows that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So he thinks, when I got this direct instruction, how can I say no? So he says, okay, my Lord, I'll try my best to think about Krishna. So he keeps trying whole night to think about Krishna. But he's not able to think about Krishna. He's only thinking about Lord Ram. So next day morning, he just says, please help me. I'm not able to think about Krishna. I can only think about Ram. What should I do? And then Lord smiles and says, that's all right. I'm just testing your love for Lord Ram. It's okay. You can keep worshipping Lord Ram. So we all know Murari Gupta is nobody but Hanuman. He's Hanuman's incarnation. So this Lord reveals during his Mahaprakash Leela at Shrivas Angan, where he tells Murari Gupta, hey, you are Hanuman. That is why that day when I asked you to remember Lord Krishna, you are not able to remember because you are Hanuman. So Murari Gupta says, oh really? Am I Hanuman? And then he looks at himself and he says, yes. Lord shows him his monkey body, and he says, oh yeah, I'm Hanuman. And then when he looks up, he sees Gauranga is not there. Lord Rama is sitting there. And then he looks at himself, yeah, he's Hanuman. And then he becomes so happy. So this he sees and he understands. So that is why he's not able to give up his love for Lord Ram. So this is one beautiful pastime which happens. And of course, this in Mahaprakasha pastime, many of the devotees are benefited. Like even Haridas Thakur. Lord tells Haridas Thakur that, look, that day when you were beaten at 22 marketplaces, actually I got very upset and I came with my Sudarshan Chakra to kill those people who were beating you. But as I was about to throw my Sudarshan Chakra on them, you were praying, my Lord, please forgive them, those who are beating me. So I didn't know what to do. If I forgive them, then you are being beaten. So I simply came and hugged you from behind. So all that beatings happened on my back. And then Lord shows his back. He reveals his back, and there they see the marks of all the beatings that were given that day. So then Haridas Thakur starts crying that Lord is so merciful. He took all the beatings upon himself. Otherwise it was humanly not possible, because the way they were trying to beat Haridas Thakur, any normal person would have died just within a few blows. So like that, during the Mahaprakash Leela, Lord calls different devotees and blesses them and blesses them and blesses them unlimitedly. So like that, on that occasion, he calls Advaita Acharya, blesses him, and he also calls Kolavecha Sridhar. So we all know this very sweet pastimes of Kolavecha Sridhar, how this Sridhar was a very, very poor devotee, but he was a banana seller, and how Lord had very sweet pastimes with him every day while Lord resided in Navadvip. So how, though he was poor, he was a pure devotee of the Lord, and whatever income he got by selling those bananas, banana leaves, he used to give 50% of that income for Ganga Puja. So Lord used to regularly go to him and give him a lot of trouble actually. Lord used to go and bargain with him. Hey, how much is these bananas cost? And how much this cost, how much that cost? And when he used to tell some price, Lord used to say, oh, this is very expensive. How can you sell in so expensive? So let's say he just says 10 annas or 5 annas. Lord will say, I think this should be for 1 anna or something like that, whatever their currency was at that time. And and he would say, well, I cannot sell you at that price. Try and understand. And then Lord says, hey, you are a rich man. You're just doing all that drama. I know that, Or sometimes Lord used to speak with him very seriously. Hey Sridhar, why are you giving 50% of your income for Ganga Puja? You're so poor. Your clothes are torn. In your house, there were holes in the ceiling from where water used to come. And he used to say, well, I'm happy. I don't think I need more. At least I have a cloth, whether it is torn or not, at least I have a cloth and I'm happy. And as far as the holes in my ceiling, it's good, nice air comes in the night. I'm very happy with it. But still he used to give 50% of his income for Ganga Puja. Lord used to become so happy seeing his attitude. So he said, even those who are rich, they also go through two things. They're happy and they are suffering. They are also sad. Those who are poor, they also have to go through two things, happiness and suffering. So what's the difference? The only difference is maybe in the variety of happiness and variety of suffering. Those who are rich, they also have their own headaches. Those who are poor, they also have their own headaches. So in this world, everybody has to go through these two things. So why not just worship Krishna, because that is the purpose of human life. And when he used to speak like that, Lord used to become so happy. But still Lord used to trouble him a lot about the bananas. And sometimes when he keeps bargaining and sometimes Sridhar gets so tired. And when the other customers come and when they want to buy bananas, Lord would tell the other customers, how can you come and talk in between? When we both are bargaining, you cannot come and disturb us. So the other customers used to go away. So he will not allow Sridhar to sell to other customers, neither he will buy. And after waiting for a long time and argument, Lord used to say, look, no, customers are coming for buying also. Anyway, it will get spoiled by tomorrow. Why not you give me free of cost? And he used to pick up and go away. He said, you didn't allow me to sell them to anybody. And finally, you're just taking them free. Is this fair? And Lord used to smile and go away. So now when Lord is exhibiting this Maha Prakash Leela at Shrivas Angan, Lord is reminded of Kolavecha Sridhar. Kolavecha, Kola is in Bengali bananas. Vecha is one who sells. So, hey, call the Kolavecha Sridhar. So they of course, that's a big story how they find out who is Kolavecha Sridhar, because they don't know who is Kolavecha Sridhar. And Lord says, somebody whose house is broken, and in the middle of the night also you will hear from his mouth, he's just saying Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. He's just remembering the Lord. So somehow they get him. And then Lord is in his Mahaprakasha form. He says, so Sridhar, tell what you want. I'm ready to give you anything. What do you want? What riches you want? You tell me, I'll give you the riches of the three world. And Kolavecha Sridhar says, I don't want anything, my Lord. Then when Lord persists, no, you have to take something. Something you have to ask. Some boon you have to ask. Then he says, well, life after life, I want to see that form, that Nimai Pandit form, who comes and argues with me for bananas. This is what I want. That beautiful form I don't want to miss, my Lord. So he never asked for Vaikuntha. He never asked for any riches. He just wants that sweet interaction between you and me should go on. This is all I want, my Lord. So like that, so many beautiful pastimes happen. But I thought one very sweet and very important pastime for us as devotees, which happened during this Sankirtan Leelas of the Lord, is when everybody was getting Krishna Prem, then the the devotees who were present there, they asked the Lord, why not you give Krishna Prem to your mother, Sachi Mata? And Lord said, I can't give her because she is an offender. She has offended Advaita Acharya. So now they all get surprised. She's the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Lord says, no, she has offended a Vaishnava, so she doesn't deserve Krishna Prem unless and until she gets, she gets forgived by Advaita Acharya. She goes and begs pardon. So now Sachi Mata and all the other devotees, they go to Advaita Acharya. Now Advaita Acharya is a little surprised, how come everybody has come here? And then they explain to him that, Mother Sachi has come to ask forgiveness from you because she has offended. So he says, what way has she offended me? I have never seen that she has offended me. So then Mother Sachi accepts that actually, physically by her talk she has never offended, but in her mind she used to think that her elder son Vishwarup, he took sannyas. At that time she used to feel that because my elder son went and heard the Bhagavatam classes every day by Advaita Acharya, because that was a thing when he was a young boy, he used to go and hear Bhagavatam class at Advaita Acharya's house. So because he heard that, he developed renunciation, he never got married and he took sannyas, all because of this man Advaita Acharya. Because of his classes my son became a renounced, otherwise we would have seen our grandchildren, we would have been so happy. So that thing was there in her mind, she never expressed it, but even mental offense, Lord has taken it so seriously. So he says, you beg for forgiveness from Advaita Acharya. And now when Advaita Acharya says, no way is she going to beg any, because she hasn't done any aparadh towards me. And he starts glorifying, Sachi Mata is so pure, Sachi Mata is so nice. And as he says that, in ecstasy, tears are rolling down and he falls unconscious. As soon as he falls unconscious, then Lord immediately looks at Sachi Mata and says, this is the opportunity. Because when he's in consciousness, he won't give you any forgiveness, because he doesn't even feel that you have committed any offense. So what you do is just take the dust off his feet while he's unconscious. So immediately Sachi Mata takes the dust from Advaita Acharya's feet and puts it on her head. And then when Advaita Acharya comes into consciousness, now Lord has forgiven Sachi Mata and gives her Krishna Prem. But of course, after this incident, what Advaita Acharya learnt is, this is very nice. When a devotee is unconscious, you can just take the dust off their feet. So he repeats that. When he does this, once when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, in ecstasy and he just falls unconscious, Advaita Acharya just takes the dust from the Lord's feet and puts in his head. And when Lord regains consciousness, the Lord says, somebody has stolen my bhakti, somebody has taken away my bhakti, I'm not feeling the same ecstasy, who has taken away my bhakti? And then Lord starts, shouting, and he starts running. So he runs from Shrivas Angan and he jumps into Ganga. Now when Lord runs, it's so difficult to catch up with him. He's 7 feet tall and he takes wide steps. So Nityananda Prabhu is also running behind him. And when he jumps in the Ganga, Nityananda Prabhu also jumps behind him in the Ganga. And by the time the devotees reach the bank, they see nobody's there. Only they see the waves in Ganga, so they understand, Lord has given up his life. So now they're all lamenting and crying, Lord has disappeared. He has given up his body. He's given up his life. And now Advaita Acharya feels all the more bad, all because of me. I did this. So now he starts fasting. He's not eating. He's not drinking anything. And meanwhile, what Lord does is, just after swimming inside, he comes out and goes to Nandanacharya's house and is hiding there. Then after some time, Lord calls Shrivas there, and then Shrivas is very happy. You are here. We thought you left. And he says, no. What is Advaita Acharya doing? No. He's very sad and he's crying and he stopped eating. Then Lord says, no. Now I'll reveal myself. So again, Lord comes out and everybody comes to know that Lord is there at Nandanacharya's place. And now everybody becomes very happy. So this is just to teach a lesson to Advaita Acharya. You should not repeat this again. Why he took the dust from my feet. So like that, all sweet kind of pastimes and exchanges. One another very important pastime that happens before Lord taking sannyas is delivering. Is delivering Jagai and Madhai, which is something very, very special, because that makes even Yamaraj fall unconscious. How when this Jagai and Madhai, they were 2 Brahmin boys actually, but they were apparently very sinful and they committed all kinds of sins that were that were, that can be probably, or that can be imagined, or that can be done, were done by them. They made sure every kind of sinful activities they did. And they were so sinful that Yamaraj had 27 warehouses just to store the information and data containing about what kind of sinful activities both of them have done. And not only that, they had 24/7 people working on their systems, recording all the sinful activities done by them. And they were actually, in verge of making a customized hell for them, because they had done so many sins in various combinations. So they didn't know which hell for them. So they actually made a customized hell. So the construction is going on of a customized hell for all the sinful activities they did. And then Yamaraj gets the news that Lord has delivered Jaga and Madha, and when he hears that, he just falls unconscious. Oh my God, so they got delivered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is this? And then as he lies down there unconscious, all the Yamaraj servants, they are fanning him and putting water on him, and by that time Lord Shiva comes there. So when Lord Shiva is walking in, the Yamadutas are like, our boss is, become unconscious because he heard this news that Jaga and Madha got delivered. Then Lord Shiva says, no, he is not unconscious because of that. He's in ecstasy. He's in samadhi because he's just meditating that how can the Lord be so merciful. So remembering that mercy quality of the Lord in ecstasy, he's lying down like this. So then, after some time when Yamaraj gets up, he's like amazed that how can, Lord be so merciful to somebody. Then, of course, the famous pastime happens of Chand Kazi. How Chand Kazi, actually, it's not a bad guy, but then, the Hindus themselves go and complain to him. He was like a Muslim magistrate of that area, and they complain, you see this boy, this Nimai Pandit, he's just chanting Hare Krishna on the roads, and actually it's a very pure mantra. It's not something to be, on the roadside just spoken aloud in front of everybody. He's making a mockery of our religion, please do something. So when the Hindus also complained like this, then he thought maybe he should do something about it. So he immediately sent his soldiers and said, okay, henceforth no Sankirtan. You can't come out on the streets and do Sankirtan. So when they come to know that, they still continue doing it. And next day, Chand Kazi himself goes in Shrivas Angan and he breaks the mridanga. So even today, when we go to Shrivas Angan in Mayapur, we see that, khula bhanga. Khula is mridanga, and bhanga means breaking. So you can see that place, and you can see they put the mridanga on the altar, which is broken by Chand Kazi. So now when this happens, then all the devotees get very worried. Now what will happen? We have to stop Sankirtan. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, nothing to worry. All of you gather together, we'll march towards Chand Kazi's house. So next day, thousands and thousands of devotees along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in complete angry mood. They march towards Chand Kazi's house, and Chand Kazi out of fear doesn't come out. And after some time when he comes out, then he's very humbly, telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, hey, you are my nephew, I'm your uncle, your grandfather Nilambar Chakravarti, I used to call him uncle. So see, that relation, you become my nephew. So why are you so angry with your uncle? So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, so if I'm your nephew, why are you keeping your nephew outside waiting like that? Why are you not calling me inside? And he said, no, okay, you come inside. And then they have peaceful conversation. And then he says, don't get angry on me. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, I'm not angry on you, but why are you not allowing to do Sankirtan? It's our right. We want to chant the holy name of the Lord. So like that, they have a lot of philosophical discussions where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also tells him about why do you eat your mother and father? That is, the cows and the bulls are like your parents. Why do you eat them? This is not what is written in the, in the scriptures. And there's lots of other exchanges happen. And one nice point that Chand Kazi mentions, he says that when I broke that mridanga, and in the night when I was sleeping, a half man, half lion form came up in my dream, and he just, scratched my chest and told me, don't you do that again, don't stop, devotees from chanting the holy name. And then he just opens and shows the marks of a lion's nails on his chest, and he says, I was so terrified. And then Chand Kazi says, I promise henceforth that everybody in Navadvip town is free to do Sankirtan. I'll never stop them. Neither will I stop them, neither my descendants will stop. Everybody in Navadvip is free to chant the Lord's holy name. This is what happened, and he himself participated in the Sankirtan, and that is why Chand Kazi is considered to be a devotee. That is why when we go to Mayapur, every devotee makes it a point to visit Chand Kazi's Samadhi. So when he was given Samadhi, like in the Muslim culture, they just bury the body. So from there, 2 trees, came out. One was the Champaka tree, and one was the Neem tree. So Neem is like signifying Lord Nimai, and Champaka was also a pet name of Chand Kazi when he was young. So, and even now we can see lots of Champaka flowers are also there. So like that, even today that trees can be seen in his Samadhi. So this is one pastime happened in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's youth age. So another pastime happens of Vasudeva Datta, how he wanted to take away all the sins, and he goes and approaches Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he says, I am ready to take the sins of everybody, please put it on me. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, oh, you are so noble and such a sweet thought. Definitely the desire has come in your heart, everybody will be liberated, but you don't have to take their sins. How can I leave my devotee like that? Definitely, you don't have to suffer on their behalf, but since you got that desire in your heart, definitely all will be liberated because of your this intense prayer, because of your sweet prayer, everybody will be delivered. So that was one thing happened. And then, of course, I think we missed on this pastime of Keshav Kashmiri. This also happened during this age of Lord, where he defeats Keshav Kashmiri. It was not actually a professional setup where they had arguments. It was just Lord was there at the bank of Ganges with his students, and Keshav Kashmiri was there with his students, and they were supposed to debate the next day in a proper setup. But before that, they just casually met, and since they met, Lord says, why not you say something about Ganga? So he just immediately composes 100 verses, and then Lord takes out mistakes, in between this verse has this mistake. So he glorifies also, and then he takes out mistake. Or this is what you said at this place, which is not correct. And Keshav Kashmiri gets all surprised, and then in the night he's just praying to Saraswati Mata, why is this happening to me? I have a boon from you, is it not, that nobody can defeat me? So Saraswati Devi says, yeah, nobody can defeat you, but he's my master, so definitely that boon doesn't work with him. He's the source of my knowledge, so how will that work? And then next day Keshav Kashmiri never goes for the debate, he just surrenders to the Lord. So like that, and then there's a pastime of how Gadadhar Pandit, after this he just goes to Katwa, and he starts preaching there, and his preaching is so efficient and so effective, and everybody starts becoming devotee. So Lord tells him, stay there, and stay there, don't need to come back, you keep preaching. And Gadadhar is like, but I want to stay in your association. And Lord is like, no, this is more important. So of course we can go on and on, but I think time is a constraint. And as Vrindavan Das Thakur puts it, he says, Chaitanya Leela Amritera Sindhu. It's like a big ocean of nectar. Tri jagate bhasaite pare tara ek bindu. Chaitanya Leela Amritera Sindhu. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is like the ocean of nectar, and just the drop of that nectar can drown the 3 worlds, can drown. You can understand, for drowning you need a lot of water. So it's like a ocean, and it's very difficult for us to even complete hearing the part or a minute part of that drop. So that there are unlimited pastimes, but as Vrindavan Thakur said, that one who hears this pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they become dhrida, their bhakti becomes dhrida, their determination to carry forward or continue bhakti becomes more firm. Of course, they get Krishna prem and they're relieved from material miseries, and they're never bitten by the snake of materialism. So the material desires get reduced, Krishna prema increases. So, and their determination to continue Krishna service, Krishna's Krishna bhakti becomes more firm. So like that, there are unlimited pastimes. So we pray to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and the Panchatattva, Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu, Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda, to bless us all and engage us in service of Guru and Krishna, and whatever way we can serve in this Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. May we all become good devotees, and when we all get opportunity to be instrumental in bringing others also to Krishna consciousness. So with this, I'll end it here. Thank you so much, devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.